Well, I'm sure you are all very curious as to what we will be covering this evening, and I promise I will not make you wait much longer, but before I do, I need to mention a few things. First, this is something that we are wanting to use. What we're going to cover this evening, it's something that's very important to Antioch Central. It's what helps us function. It's what makes it. It's what helps make us what we are. It's what allows us to do what we need to do. It's how we communicate. It's how we connect. It's how you stay informed and educated. And the things we're going to be covering tonight are very important to Antioch Central. And so for that reason, we want to make sure we inform all of you and help connect with all of you, but also for those that will come, future members, future guests. We want to have this as a resource that they can utilize as well. So I'm going to let you know this evening as we talk, there may be some moments when things seem not necessarily vague, but broad in the sense of we want it to be as timeless as possible. We don't want the information we state to be null and void 6 months from now. So maybe it's a person where we would typically state a person's name. We might just state their title. So that way, if something comes down the line when they are changing ministries and there's a new person in that title, future members and guests of this church aren't watching this video and they're referencing names of people that are no longer in those positions. So things like that, where some of the things we talk about, it might seem like, why didn't they say this, or why didn't they, or something might seem awkward as far as a transition when we're changing from one topic to another. It's because we're trying to capitalize on the opportunity to record this series tonight for future members and guests and those that cannot be here tonight or watching online to have access to as well. So that being said, we are going to, the ushers and some volunteers are going to begin passing out some papers. I would tell you not to start reading those papers, but I'm sure that'd be like telling a child not to press the big shiny red button. So if you want to go ahead and read, I'll just go ahead and spoil it before you get to. We're going to be covering a subject tonight called the Toolbox. What this means, we'll learn all about. And as you begin to look at the paper and get ahead of the speakers, you will learn about what all this is. Look at you already. This is what Pastor talks about all the time. He's like, oh, wait, while y'all catch back up. Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, I know you're excited. It's something new. It's fun. It's in your hand. You want to look at it. But so we'll be covering some very important tools and platforms that we as Antioch Central utilize. And I also want to encourage you to keep your mind open. Keep your ears open. Don't tune out because you think you already know everything there is to know about what we're going to discuss. I promise you, if you pay attention this evening, you will hear something you never heard before. You will learn something you never learned before. I will also promise you that if you pay attention this evening, you will know exactly what these tools are. You will know why these tools matter. You will also know how you can connect to these tools, how you can utilize these tools and be better connected and informed with Antioch Central. So that said, that is all preliminary stuff. I had to say all that in the beginning because I'm not going to say it during the sessions. This is going to be recorded in one. We're obviously streaming right now. Hi, everyone watching online. Sorry, I didn't do the pastor thing. I'm new to this, guys. Welcome, everyone that's tuning in live this evening. We're glad to have you online. He had to get used to that a while ago, but we've been streaming for so long, now he's got it down. It's in his system. Also, I keep referring to him because he wasn't supposed to be here, and now he's here, so now I'm just like, I feel like I got to keep addressing that pastor is, in fact, in the room. But anyway, we will be breaking this up into 6 different sessions for the archive's sake, for other people that want to watch it, or if you want to go back and find a certain subject or topic, you can find just this one section. Don't freak out. It does not mean we're going to be here for 6 hours tonight. This is not a 6-lesson series with Bishop where each one is going to be about an hour and a half long. This is a 6 lessons. I'm in trouble for that one. This is a 6-lesson series each one will be maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, the max 15 minutes. So they'll be very brief. We're not going to be here crazy long tonight. We're not keeping you late. But this is so that way for you in the future to look at certain. If you want to know more about a certain tool that we talk about this evening, you can go back to that one specific video and find that one 5-minute session and learn more and hopefully have some questions that you might have answered. So does that make sense? Everyone ready? You're excited? Everyone read their paper already? Who said no? Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, a couple of you. Thanks. Wow. You're serious, Brother Isaac? I'm impressed. That's saying a lot. Thank you. Man. All right. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get this started. I'm going to take one more drink of water first because I'm getting cotton mouth from talking too fast. Praise the Lord. Genesis chapter 11, starting in verse 1 says, "And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar. And they dwelt there, and they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded." This next verse is what I want you to pay attention to. "And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do." The easy-to-read version says, "The Lord said, These people all speak the same language, and I see that they are joined together to do this work. This is only the beginning of what they can do. Soon they will be able to do anything they want." For those of you that are not familiar with this is the story of the Tower of Babel, at which point a group of people decided they wanted to build this tower to stay away from a flood or to reach heaven and just be together in this large skyscraper, if you will. And what happens is they were so unified in mind and body and spirit and vision and direction that God himself says there is nothing that they cannot do. Now, this story ends in a bad side, obviously, because God comes down and he has to divide them up. This is because what they were doing was out of disobedience. God told them to go multiply and replenish the earth, spread out. They weren't doing it, so God had to intervene. But you see throughout all of Scripture how this type of unity, this type of one mind and one accord is actually very positive, especially for the body of Christ. And there are three specific elements that you see happening in this specific scenario of the Tower of Babel. Everyone repeat after me. Say information. Say education. Say communication. One more time. Say it with me. Information, education, communication. These three elements are vital to someone or something that is functioning as one, that is moving as one, that is acting as one. If you go back to the story, the information, the what, they knew what they were doing. They were building this tower. They were doing this great thing. The education, if you see, it said they had stone or brick for stone, and then they had slime for mortar. They knew how to do what they needed to do. They had the tools, they had the talents, they had the abilities. They knew they needed to build this brick and place it here and put this slime over it and assemble this here. They knew how to do what they needed to do. And lastly, probably one of the most important elements is communication. They were of one mind. They were of one language. They were able to talk the same language with everyone and communicate what needed to be communicated. And that is what Antioch Central's Toolbox is all about. Our toolbox is filled with amazing platforms and softwares and tools that are made available to you, members of Antioch Central, so that you can be better informed about what we're doing, so that you can be better educated with who we are, with what we believe, and also so you can be better in connection and in communication with what our church is doing and who we are and where we're going. And that's what we're going to discuss in this series. It is our hope and our desire as you go through these next few topics, these next few series, that you learn about these tools. You know what they are. But not just that you know what they are, but that you know why they are important, why they matter, and also that you can find out how you can connect, how you can be better informed, how you can be better educated, and how you can have better communication. So join us in this brief series as we talk about Antioch Central's Toolbox.
a regional revival. Does anybody believe that here tonight? It is so much bigger than the four walls of a building, and you cannot mix tradition with the revival that I'm about to give you. Cannot mix religiosity with the revival that I'm about to give you. I came to help this church understand God is enlarging your borders. He is giving you a region, but you've got to break out of the box of traditionalism and say, God, we want to have revival even if it looks different than it's ever looked in our lives.
Hello, my name is Chester Nathaniel, and I am the social media coordinator for Antioch Central. Social media is an amazing platform for connecting and engaging with our church community. Our sole purpose and what we create is to communicate our love for both people and the apostolic truth. Both of these values makes Antioch Central social media a great source for outreach, as well as sharing the love we have for one another through Christ. I am here to talk to you tonight about the importance of our social media. For those of you who don't know, I will just start off the cuff with the logistics. Our tag is Antioch Central. That's our username for our Facebook and Instagram page. I will say, when it comes to social media, everything that we create from in-service content and all of this stuff, this is not just another form of announcements. This is not just something to keep up with your church and to keep up with what's going on weekly at your church. We use it for that purpose, but like the description on your paper says, the sole purpose of what we create for our social media is to expound upon and to share what God is doing in this church. The video that we just showed is about a regional revival that's going on, and it is because my sole desire and purpose of what I am making is to take what God is doing in the spirit realm of this church. These are our two primary platforms, and that is Facebook and Instagram. Both of them have their very unique advantages, which I will get to in a second. But they both always will have, except for Facebook, will have, because we do stream to Facebook. But as far as content goes, Facebook and Instagram always have, between the stories, videos, and pictures and posts, always have the same content. However, I would strongly advise, even if you are not a social media person, whether that's because of your age or whether that's because of your personal convictions or what have you, I would highly, like I said, advise that you get on social media, whether that's Instagram or Facebook, just to keep up with this stuff. Just because you might enjoy seeing, you never know. There might be a picture of you on our page that you don't even know is there. Probably is the case. But just because, like I said, this is a fun way and it's a creative way to watch and experience the things and share ultimately what God is doing at this church. Which brings me to my next point is share, share, share. Social media is an outreach tool. There are communities that you can reach via your social media accounts that our church account cannot reach. There are people that you're connected with, whether that's from your job, whether that's from your family and all of that stuff, that when you share and you repost on your social media, you don't even realize it, but that's a whole network that we don't have access to. This obviously can have great effects and benefits. So on Instagram, typically what that looks like, as you can see on the right up there, is sharing a story and tagging the church. This then sharing something to a story. This is then so people can click on that, they can click on the post, and they can go to our account. Facebook, like I said, they both have their individual advantages, which many of you know we stream to Facebook, and a lot of people are more familiar with Facebook. You can share our stream directly to your account as a post. That is literally taking a church service and publicly saying, here you go. Here's apostolic worship, and here's a word of God being brought forth. And here could be someone's experience that you're connected with. This could be their experience with the presence of God. I don't believe that media is an end-all, be-all ministry, but I do believe that what we're talking about tonight, it is a tool, and it can be used to expose people to the power of God. Media means, the word media is simply the plural form of a medium, meaning that when you share what's going on at your church, when you share what God is going and doing in the spirit realm, you are literally being a conduit so that someone else can see that, so that someone else can experience that too, and someone else is exposed to that type of worship. And the last thing I want to talk about in regards to our media is, you can repeat after me. Everyone say hashtag Sundays at Antioch Central. Right now, across all of our media platforms, Facebook and Instagram, we are pushing the hashtag Sundays at Antioch Central because, as all of you know, there's pretty much nothing like a Sunday at Antioch Central. Walking in on a Sunday morning to great fellowship, only to hear welcome to the friendliest church in town, and walking in on a Sunday night to a great flow of prayer led by our beloved brother Middleton. There's just nothing that really compares to that, which is why we're not trying to market it, but it could be pushed a little bit. So what we're trying to do, and you can take this and you can do it this Sunday if you'd like, it would be awesome. But when you take a picture with your church family, we want you to post that picture, like I said, on Facebook or Instagram, and tag us in that picture at Antioch Central, and use the hashtag Sundays at Antioch Central. And what this will do is this will put all of these posts in a collective location. As you can see, the very lovely Elizabeth Wright with the very, very cute William Breckenridge. She did this perfectly. We are trying to get more feet on the ground with this moving forward as well. We will have more photographers and more videographers, so you never know. You may even be sent a picture on a Sunday that somebody snapped of you talking to someone, laughing, having a good time, just like this one was a total candid. And the point of you being sent that picture is going to be to post it on your social media to share how much you love Sundays at Antioch Central. As far as moving forward, too, we're very excited to announce that at upcoming events, we will begin to have more focused photo booths and things of that nature, where we will have set up a professional photographer in a very nice looking background studio look, where we will be taking your pictures before or after a service at large events and providing them and making them available. Literally, this is an opportunity to get your family pictures in. We will be making those available to you after that event, so that then you can share, because we want to blow up social media with how much we love Sundays at Antioch Central. Thank you very much.
Amen. Amen. I'm Jim Barr, and I'm here to talk about Realm. What is Realm? Not the realm, but our realm. Realm is an information and communication, or is the information and communication backbone of Antioch Central. It is the place that all aspects of ministry are managed, presented for involvement, for understanding. It's a place where we manage member and guest information. Realm is our link to one another. Amen. I said realm is our link to one another. And that's important for us to understand. It's more than a management system. It does do that. It's a very important tool. It's technically called a church management system. And it does that well. But the other big thing that it really does, and that affects all of us is it is a tool that keeps us informed and connected to one another. So, what is the most important part of realm? The most important part of realm really are the people. You're the most important part of realm. If we didn't have people, realm wouldn't have a whole lot of purpose. Okay? And so the most important part of it is you, and it's me. Okay? So I'm going to say this. This might sound like a strong statement, but I really believe this statement. If you're not participating in realm, you are disconnected and uninformed. If you're not using realm, if you're not participating in realm, you are disconnected from the body and you are uninformed. Because that's where it all happens. And so I need to be part of realm. Okay, so how do you get connected to realm? How do you get someone else connected to realm? Okay, so realm, the way Antioch Central uses realm, really the way Antioch, the Apostolic Church, uses realm. Realm is what would be called a closed system. Okay, you can't just ask to be a part of realm and get into realm. You can go to their website. You could try to log in, but you can't get into our part of realm without an invitation. Okay, so you have to be invited to be in realm, to have an account in realm. So if you need to be in realm, then you need to let someone know that you want an account. The email that you would send a request to is on the screen, is realmadmin@myantioch.org. If you're a oikos leader, or you're in a Bible study, or you're someone that you're working with, and they say, hey, how can I be a part of realm? You send them through that email. You either give them the email, or you send an email in and say, hey, Frank Jones wants to be in realm. And then they get an invite to realm. Okay, so it's really that simple to get into realm. I got one of our church members in realm, Dudley Do-Right. If you haven't met him, that's actually from our database. He's in there. That's his profile. So the other part that's why you're so important is, whose responsibility is it to update your profile? It's your responsibility. Somebody, I won't mention any names, said to me they have a new person added to their family by way of procreation. And they said, hey, so-and-so's not in, they're not in my profile. I'm like, well, you're supposed to put them in there. They're your child. Add them. Somebody moved, and, we posted some stuff. I'm not going to say who it was, but we posted some stuff about their life courses, and it was at their house, and they were like, that's the wrong address. Okay, we'll fix it in realm. It's your house. So it's very important that you update your profile, okay? And a couple of things that are very important for your profile. One is an accurate birthday would be very nice. Ladies, we're not going to broadcast your age. Okay, but we would like to know when everyone's birthday is. Things like that. We got Dudley Do-Right's picture in there. It'd be nice for people to put a picture in there. You know, some people, I won't mention any names like me, I sometimes go in there just so, because there's so, I don't know everybody. So I can go into realm, that's who Jeremy is. Sometimes I have to go in the back when I'm trying to figure out who someone is and ask one of the ladies in the back, because they got good brains for connecting faces to names. But if you'd put your picture in there, I would know who you are. Amen. Maybe. Amen. So update your profile. That's your responsibility. Okay? So how can I stay connected? So that's what Realm is, but how do you use Realm? So talking about being connected, so how can I stay connected? Basically, there's two ways to use Realm, okay? There's a mobile app, and then there's a website. Technically, there's three ways, because if you're using like a tablet, it's kind of a hybrid between the two. But let's just say, for sake of argument, there's two ways. A mobile app and a website, okay? There's difference between the two different platforms. There's some things the mobile app is good for, or let me say, there's some things it's more convenient to use the mobile app for, and there's some things that you pretty much are better off to use the website. Okay, so I'm just going to mention a couple of those things very quickly. So mobile app is real good for communication, real good for mobile check-in. That's, some folks don't know what that is. The mobile app is good for giving now, like say you're in service and you want to give. The mobile app is good for that. The website is better if you're managing your profile. Sometimes it's difficult to update your profile on the mobile device because it just doesn't have all the options that you have on the website. Scheduled giving, so if you want to set up your givings on a schedule, I'm just going to put this out there. For me, I give in every service, but I personally do not put anything in every service. I have my realm set up so that what I would normally give in a service, it just automatically on that service, I give. And so I don't do it that way, to be honest with you, because, I'm such a great giver. I do it that way because it's just easier for me not to forget to bring money or whatever to church. So I just have all of my giving set up. That kind of stuff's easier to set up on the website, okay? If you want to put in your account information, whether you're going to give using a checking account or if you're going to use a debit card, it's easier to put that information in from the website than it is on the mobile device. The mobile device they don't have the options there. So I would recommend doing that. If you need your giving statement for tax purposes, you have to do that from the website. You cannot do that from a mobile device. And then for group management doesn't matter to everyone, but folks that are group leaders and things like that, it's much easier to do group management from the computer or from the website. Okay? And good. So last thing I want to kind of cover is pretty important, and that's the understanding of news feeds and events in your mobile device or your website. So the easiest way to understand Realm is this. Everything in Realm is based upon groups. Everything. Every ministry, every activity Everything is based on groups. Okay? So we're getting ready to say start up CR again. So there's a group for CR. And all the communication and all of the things that have to do with CR take place inside that group. Okay? So whatever group that you might be associated with, that is what you're going to see and I'm going to see on my news feed. Okay? So for instance, Brother Mallory's oikos, on my news feed, I'm not going to see anything that pertains to Brother and Sister Mallory's oikos. They have communication in their group that everyone in their group will see that communication. Any event, any chat, any post, it doesn't show up for everyone, it just shows up in their group. Okay? So the groups that you are associated with are the groups that you're going to see a news feed from, a post. There might be a group chat in your group. Okay? So if there's a group chat in the CR group, then people that are in Brother Mallory's oikos will not see that group chat. Okay, so it's important to understand what you're seeing. There's been a few people that have mentioned, hey, I'm not seeing all these posts that this person's seeing. Well, you're not in the same group that they're in. Okay, we just started life courses this quarter. The people in those life courses, that's a group. Everyone in that life course can interact in realm with one another. That's what the connection's all about. And so the news feed is there. So one of the things someone mentioned talking about news feed, how does it work as far as what you see in the news feed? So as a new post is put out in whatever group it might be, and what the ones that we see the most here at Antioch Central would be a group called Antioch Central, the Body. Okay, so everybody is in that group. And so you get a news feed. So pastor posts something, Sister Wright posts something. And then someone else posts something else, and so that's at the top of the news feed. Some announcement comes out, that's at the top of the news feed. But then a post that was 3 or 4 posts down, all of a sudden that's back at the top of the news feed. Okay? The reason for that is someone commented on that post, so that moves it back. It's the last thing that was presented to the group because someone replied. So oftentimes people don't understand that, so they see it pop up again and they're like, why is that there again? And they don't go check the communication. We're talking to one another. It's kind of funny. Pastor Wright a few weeks ago made a post, and it was a post about a professional football team. We won't mention the name of said team, but he posted, it was there, and Realm just blew up. I'm like, look, man, something's going viral. That's never happened on Realm before. It was awesome. We want to see that all the time. We want people to feel free to communicate and to post, and it's if I can say this, Realm is Antioch Central's internal social media. Okay? It's how we can communicate with one another inside of Antioch Central. So there's a lot of important things in Realm. Events, that's another thing. So the group events will show up in there. So if you go in and look at events, there's 2 things you can see under events. You can see my events, and then you can see all events, okay? All events does not really mean all events. It means all events that are not private, okay? So for instance, let's just say, for instance, there's a group for worship, the worship department, okay? That is a private group. And what that means is that only people in that group will see that group and anything that goes on in that group. And if you search for it, you can't find it and ask to join it. It's a private group. So those events would not show up under all events. That's a little complicated, but you won't see. All events just doesn't mean every event in Antioch Central. It means every event that you possibly should see. And so that wraps up an oversight or an overview of Realm. And thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Andrew Prasad. I'm here to talk to you about the website. Before I jump into this, I want to kind of challenge you, and I'm going to try and take off my business hat and put on my ministry hat here, but I can't promise it's not going to bleed back over. So if I get too nerdy, just let me know. I want to challenge you to look at our website as an outreach tool, not just as some place where we have to have a website and we have some information on there. So kind of keep that in mind during this. But the purpose of our website is one of the faces of Antioch Central that is viewable to the world. It serves as an outreach tool, a hub, and a resource directed towards potential new and existing members. It is one of the tools that makes up our external digital footprint and speaks for us before we have a chance to speak. Now, I want to touch on that last piece here right at the beginning because that's incredibly important. If you get out your phone, please don't do that right now, but if you get out your phone and you say Apostolic Church near me, if you type that into your search engine, guess what church is going to pop up? Our church. So it brings in some concepts of search engine optimization, which I will not go into, so don't worry about that. But basically what it does is it allows people to search for church-related terms and for our church to come up. So that's what I mean by an outreach tool. It's not necessarily going out and handing a tract or going out and witnessing to somebody in downtown Annapolis per se. But if somebody is searching for a church, they are more likely to come to our church because of the work that we're doing. So as far as our website goes, we have a corporate website that is not the purpose of tonight, but it's important to mention because it includes all three congregations. It includes corporate events and calendar, a calendar embed, and an I'm New page, and it supports our corporate vision and structure. So that's really important from the corporate side, and if you transition into the Antioch Central side, you will start to see some more hyper-focused information on our actual congregation. So there are two ways to get to the site. One is theantioch.com/central, and the other is antiochcentral.com. We purchased the second one and connected that more for advertising and promotional purposes because it's a little easier to remember. But this hosts Antioch Central information, specific information, and there's a short list of what I'm going to kind of go through at a very high level here tonight. But it looks really, really cool. We've done a lot of work. There's a ton of development going into it this year. So it's important to highlight some of these changes and some of the things to be looking forward to. It is mobile optimized, mobile friendly. So if somebody looks on their phone, they're not going to have to zoom in and pan around like you do on some of the websites that are not mobile friendly. So starting out with the About page, and some of you are seeing pictures for the first time of yourself on here potentially. The About page offers more information about Antioch Central. It's also where our mission statement is housed. It lists our leaders and displays our beliefs. And something interesting that you may not know if you have not gone to our beliefs page is it gives a basic understanding of our principles and beliefs with some supporting scriptures. So if perchance you're in a conversation with somebody and you need a quick resource, That's always a good place to go, as well as if somebody's coming to our church, that is important for them to actually see so that they can know a little bit more about what we believe. Amen. Next is the Get Involved page, and this is where I really, really want to kind of put a flag in the ground and say this is something that you should remember and take a look at over this year, because we're going to have a lot of development in this area. So essentially, if you're looking at a church, right, you want to know what they believe, you want to know about the church, and then you want to know what's going on there. If you have kids, you want to see, do they have a Sunday school program? Do they have a youth group? Do they have anything serving young adults? Do they have any kind of discipleship, any kind of development, anything like that? This is the page that houses all of that information. So we have right now, currently on this page, kids ministry, youth ministry, young adult ministry, oikos, life courses, and grow. And what we're doing over the course of this year is we're going to build out and substantiate the content under each of these. So these will almost function as what I would call a microsite, where you can go and you can dig in and get more information, as well as for each of these ministries, they can use their specific URL to reference and send somebody. They can put resources on there, things of that nature as well. So we have locations and leadership pages, and these are pretty high-level explanations of what's on there, but they display, the locations page displays the different locations that we meet in and the leaders of those locations. Leadership displays the different leaders at Central, their roles, and a brief bio. And this is important if somebody's looking and they can put a face to a name. So in a business setting, I would say, you have your website, have something where somebody can learn a little bit about you before they come and meet you, so that it's a warm introduction, it's not a cold introduction. What that actually does is it makes somebody feel more comfortable if they are bringing their kid to Sunday school and they've already seen a picture of Sister Millette and they've already read a bio, they know a little bit about her personality. It makes it that much more of a meaningful connection when they actually drop their kid off. So next we have the media page. This is a simple way to access some of our media resources. So we have a church app, we have the YouTube archives, we have Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and there will be a brief session about that shortly after, so I'm not going to delve into those, but sometimes it's difficult to remember where those links are, so if you can't remember, they're all listed there. The Give page. If you ever forget your Realm link, there is a link to Realm on here for your giving. This is also where the Donate to Bill Eckerd Memorial Fund is. So I've had a few people ask me where that link was, and that is on the antioch.com/central/give. Contact and quick links. This is in the footer of every single page, and this is important information for either somebody looking at the website for the first time, right? So they have our basic contact information if they need to get in touch with us. They also have service times. Quick links lists any other pertinent links such as Apostolic Iron, Giving, Oikos Reports, Realm, Antioch U, and the calendar. And the last thing I want to touch on here is the calendar. So the one on the Central website is Central Specific. That has Central Specific events. There is also a link to the corporate calendar. I'm not sure how we can see that, but right at the bottom, there is a link to go there. At the bottom right of that screen, you can see I have another screenshot there where it says Men's Prayer, and then below that it says plus Google Calendar. That is how you subscribe to the calendar. That's really important because it keeps you up to date on all of the events that are going on, and you don't actually have to talk to anybody. You can just look at your calendar app and you can see, oh man, that's what time that starts. So for those of us introverts, it's really handy to have. But that's a really important piece in order to stay connected and make sure that you're up to date on everything that's going on at Antioch Central. So, thank you.
All right, we're going to have a little bit of a group participation. Who likes group participation? Wow, all 5 of you. Thank you. All right, well, if that's the case, we're going to do it anyway. Everyone in here, raise your hand. You don't have to raise it high, but just raise. You can raise it up, put it on something. I got everyone's participation. Looks like I got pretty much everyone. Everyone's hands raised. All right, keep your hand up. Keep your hand up. Put your hand down if you have a smart TV. meaning you have a TV that can connect to the internet. It has smart apps. That's, wow, okay. I was thinking I was going to only take out like 5 of you. Wow, okay. All right, if you haven't put your hand down, keep it up, keep it up. Put your hand down if you have a tablet, an iPad, or a Nook, or a Kindle, or whatever else there is. I don't know. All I use is iPads, so whatever else there is. Samsung's got some stuff. All right, put your hand down if you have a computer. Put your hand down if you have a computer. All right, I don't know about you online. If your hands are still up online, then good for you. But I promise you, you're probably going to be out by this last one, which is put your hand down if you have a smartphone. If you look around the room, we have one hand up, and that is because it is a young person who is very young, and respect him for paying attention and participating in this. 'Cause I know there's a bunch of kids that probably don't have these things that I mentioned. But either way, everyone's hand has gone down, and it's probably the case for those of you joining us online as well, where somewhere in one of those categories you fit and you were able to put your hand down. I mention that because all of those things have what's known as applications or softwares, things that you could download to your computer, to your smart TV, to your phone, to your tablets. And all these apps have certain functions, certain purposes, and there are specific apps that help you stay connected and informed and educated with what's going on here at Antioch Central. And that's what we're going to talk about the next couple of minutes, is the Antioch app and the Antioch archives. So we have our church app. If you go to any app store, you can go to the App Store, the Apple App Store. You can go to Google's App Store, Amazon's App Store, Roku, and you search Antioch the Apostolic Church. You will see a blue square with a white globe. That is our church app. You can go to YouTube, whether you go to youtube.com or you go to your YouTube app and search Antioch Central. You will see our YouTube channel. You go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you will see our podcast channel. And I'm going to talk about what each of these things are and why they are important. So, the Antioch app. This is an application that is available to download to your smartphone, your tablet, or your smart TV. This app serves as a place for church information and spiritual education. You can find direct access to our live events, our latest teaching series, and so much more. The app, I will be shocked if there is one person, nothing against the people, it's just this app has a lot of information. I would be shocked if there was one person that has discovered everything that the app has to offer. There are so many little things in little corners and little places that are available, but it takes someone really looking into it. And like I said, it's nothing against the individuals. It's just there's a lot of stuff that this app has. It has the Bible. You can literally, you don't need to download a separate app to read the Bible. You still can if you want, if you want to have all the note takings or your past notes saved and your highlights. But it has a Bible in this app. It has information about, again, our church structure and our other congregations. It has a way to give. It sends you basically directly to our Realm giving link. And it has tons of teaching series and messages that have been taught here at Antioch Central and throughout Antioch, things that are directly connected to the Grow discipleship process, things that are just available for you to learn more and discover more. One of the best features of the app is, has anyone ever, and this is probably something else that is going to have 100% participation, has anyone ever needed to watch the live stream? I know some of y'all are lying. At this point, everyone has more than likely needed to use the live stream at some point in time. I know back in 2020, everyone that's connected to this church had to use the live stream because we were not meeting in person. So at some point, you have had to use the live stream. And as was mentioned during the social media session, we do stream live on Facebook, but we also stream live on YouTube. And the app can take you there in 3 very quick steps. And I am going to give you a play-by-play of that very thing. So, here is the homepage of the app. It's wide, but you can probably still see it enough, or narrow, so you can probably still see it enough. So, this is the homepage of the app. In less than 3 clicks, I can get to our live stream. I've already done the 1 click. What was the first click? Yeah, good job, guys. Give yourself a hand. Clicking the app from my home screen. I could show you my home screen, but I'm trying to be professional, and I have a beautiful picture of my wife on there, but I'll keep it here. So this is the app's homepage. So first I had to click the app. That was the first step. The second step, you see that button in the middle where it says click to watch Antioch Live? Right here, I click that, takes me to the live page. Now again, this is has corporate aspects, so there's things for north available, there's things for west, but we're going to central, which is the one at the top. I can click the live button, I can click the phone, I can click anywhere up in this top. That's the third click. It's loading. What's it loading to? Trying to see. There we go. Oh man, who's that guy? Wow, look at that. That's me. It's live. That's crazy. Cool. So yeah, 3 quick steps. I am at the live. Sometime now, if you prefer to go to Facebook, by all means, do Facebook. If you use the YouTube app directly because you're just super amazing with technology and you know how to operate that, go for it. But this is just a very simple and quick way for you to always be able to access our live events. Again, click the app, click the live link, click Central Live. You're there. 3 taps, and now you are tapped in to YouTube Live. Again, you can go to the location page, learn about Antioch Central. And we go here, and it's got a page that breaks down who we are and what we do. It takes you to different parts of our website and translates some of that information for you so you can learn more about us. Has an option to follow our calendar, or again, check out more of what I already mentioned, our media. We have the Central Live button available there as well. We have the Central Teaching Series, which has a ton of video content available. Man, I think you are all on the internet right now. It has a lot of information available for you to just go and watch these teaching series, to go through things that have been taught here in the past, things are part of the grow process. You can even, if you remember, we did conversations. Pastor did conversations in his room. If I clicked that and I go to the one we talked about, the family, I can go here, it loads, and then I can press play, and it opens and talks about it's the whole video series that he did with that, and it's got, the whole intro and them talking about family and what it's like in a Christian family. Yeah, the internet is struggling. There we go. So you see that? It's got the whole, him in his living room right there. All of these different things we've done in the past are available directly in this app. And if we go back to the media page, you see these 3 other areas, which is what we're going to talk about next. And that is our YouTube archives and Spotify and Apple. Now, like I said, a lot of our content is available in the app directly, but when it comes to our archives, when it comes to any and everything from Antioch Central, YouTube is your best friend. Our YouTube channel is our hub for all things that are archived. It has, if you're looking for a past teaching series or a past Sunday service or a special event, YouTube is the place to go. Again, you can go directly to the app and search Antioch Central and find it, or you can go to youtube.com/Antioch Central and find it that way. I will say this page only dates back to 2020. Because of where the church was at and how we were needing a lot more media access for the congregations, because everyone wasn't able to meet in person, we actually switched the way our setup was, and every congregation had its own separate YouTube page because every congregation was putting out a lot of digital content. So the Antioch Central YouTube page dates back to 2020, but if you go to the Antioch corporate YouTube page, which is the Antioch the Apostolic Church, that has a lot more archived video content available. But for now, for anything that has been done since 2020 and to now is on our Antioch Central YouTube archives, and you can find all the content you're looking for there as far as our past services and teaching series. Lastly, we have the audio podcast. Some of you may know what a podcast is, some of you may not. I'm sure everyone knows what the radio is. The radio is not necessarily getting replaced. It's very unique, and it's probably going to be around for forever, but a lot less people utilize the radio for the ability to stream music from whatever they want, from their device, the exact music they want to listen to, not to mention the things that are now known as podcasts that are very popular. People would use the radio to listen to certain types of music or to listen to sports or listen to news. Podcasts are very similar, where people go to a specific podcast to find certain content, a sports podcast channel, a psychology podcast channel, a audiobooks podcast channel, whatever the case may be. We have podcast channels available for Antioch Central. This has the audio of all of our teaching series and all of our past sermons, or preaching and all of those things. So if you go, our podcast channels are perfect for those who have long commutes to work, or who prefer audio over video, or who just need a hands-free way of hearing preaching and teaching. Let's say you've got a long drive out of town. Let's say you're working around the house and you want to paint a room. Don't pull up Netflix. Don't pull up Hulu. Don't pull up your favorite TV series. Why don't you pull up the Spotify podcast and find the preached message you haven't heard yet. You were out of town that service and you missed that service. Listen to some preaching. You can have teaching from pastor right there on your phone, or teaching from the other series that we've done. Teaching from Bishop is directly available on these apps. So again, Spotify is an app that you would download from your app store, and you would go on there, search Antioch Central, and you'll be able to find our channel. Same thing, Apple Podcast, you go there, you search Antioch Central, you can find our channel. And it's a great way to have audio available anywhere you're at, on your phone, on your tablet, on your smart device. So once again, we have the Antioch apps and our Antioch archives. We have our app, search your Google store, your Amazon store, your Apple store, your Roku store, Antioch Apostolic Church. You can find the app. YouTube, it's Antioch Central. Spotify, it's Antioch Central. And the Apple Podcast is Antioch Central. Thank you, everyone, and I hope you now understand a little bit more about our archives and our app and how you can stay educated and informed with what everything that's going on at Antioch Central.
All right. My name is Kevin Breckenridge. I'm here to talk about Antioch U. Everybody say Antioch U. So what is Antioch U? I'm going to start with what Antioch U is not. Antioch U is not Antioch's new 4-year collegiate institution that you get a bachelor's degree from. That's not what it is, but the U does refer to things similar to a university. So let's talk about what Antioch U actually is. So Antioch U is a customized training platform that provides Antioch members access to apostolic training resources. These resources include training for discipleship, ministry development, and individual growth. So that is what Antioch U is on a corporate level. Antioch U is used not only by Antioch Central, but it is used by Antioch North and Antioch West to provide access to training content. It is a platform that we customize, that we upload content to, and that we control the content that's on there, unlike public platforms such as YouTube and other things where we're less in control of the content. So that's what Antioch U is on a corporate level. It is used by all the congregations and includes a lot of resources outside of what I'm going to talk about for Antioch Central. So if you log in and you see additional content, that's the context for that. But what is Antioch U for Antioch Central? So Antioch U for Antioch Central is used to provide access to portions of the Grow Discipleship process content, including the required video teaching series that we have. It provides additional accountability through content quizzes and reporting so that leaders can walk through the Grow process with individuals. You may ask the question, well, if we have YouTube, we have Spotify, we have the app that has a lot of this content, why does Antioch U matter? Well, it matters because it adds a layer of extra accountability and tracking, not for privacy violations or anything like that, but it's meant so that we as leaders can walk through the process with individuals and know that the courses are being taken, that you're watching the content, you're taking quizzes to kind of challenge your knowledge on the topic, and it's a way to see that, yes, you are going through this process, and we can track that on an individual basis. So it's a way that we can do that in a central platform, again, that's customizable, that we can control, and that we can add to on a regular basis. So it's important for you to get signed up if you are wanting to participate in the Grow process. If you want to get access to other material, Antioch U is going to be a place that you want to be in. So next logical question is, how do I get to Antioch U? How do you get to Antioch U? Well, it's a website. It's a digital platform. It's on a website. On a computer or mobile device, I do recommend on a computer primarily, but you're going to go to antioch-u.com. It's antioch-u.com. If you have an account already, you know what I'm talking about. You know what Antioch U is. You just sign in up in the screenshot there, up at the top right. You'll put in your email and password. You log in. You get access to your content. if you have not yet signed up for an account in Antioch U, you need to do that. How you can do that is very easy. You go to the website. Up at the top, you'll see a Create Account button. That Create Account button will take you to a page to create your account, just as you're used to with any other online platform where you have to create a username and password. You're going to do so for Antioch U so that you can get in, have a profile that's unique to you. So you're going to put in your email, your password, your information. The most important part about this sign-up process for you is the user type. There's a couple different user types listed. If you don't change that, it makes things more difficult later. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that under the user type you select Antioch Central, okay? So what that does is when you sign up and create the account, that gets you access immediately to Antioch Central content. And we're going to talk about what that content is. But when you're creating your account, make sure you pay attention to each field and select Antioch Central as your user type. So go to the page, hit Create Account, put in information. Takes you about 60 seconds to do this, and then you've got an account in Antioch U. So it's going to give you access to the Grow content. If you don't know what Grow is yet, Grow is our discipleship process that contains a lot more than videos. There's other things such as books, there's community service, there's attending classes, there's watching videos. It's our process by which we're able to make disciples. And so Antioch U is going to be a big part of how we're able to track that through the Grow discipleship process. So if you want to get access to the Grow content in Antioch U, you're going to, when you're logged in, I'm going to hop to the screenshot so that you can see what I'm talking about. You're going to log in, and you're going to see a very similar page to the login page, but on the left-hand side, you'll see an all categories there. You hit that drop down, there's an Antioch Central Grow section. You click that, it's going to take you to the Grow content, the video series that are up there for the Grow discipleship process. There's new content being added regularly. The page is going to be, you're going to be able to log in and see exactly what's in the different Grow levels so that you can go through those. I mentioned the quizzes in the beginning. Once you go through a particular video or section, you're going to have a quiz with a couple of questions, 4 to 5 questions. It's not going to be like a major algebra test. It's going to be things that if you watch the video and you weren't, doing your chores and had it in the background and weren't paying attention, you'll be able to answer the questions. You'll be able to go through that and answer those questions. And then once you answer those questions, you submit that. Those get graded, and then you can move on to the next section. So there is a little bit more of a back and forth because of the accountability part that Antioch U does provide than if you were to go to the app and just stream all 6 videos of the series. You'll be able to get that through that pretty quick, but there won't be able to be that accountability and tracking that we need to kind of to get through that Grow process. So when you go to the website, you hit all categories, you get down to the Grow Antioch Central Grow section, you'll be able to see the content. Alternatively, you can browse directly to Antioch-U/Grow, and that will take you to the same page and get you access to the video teaching series that are there for the Grow. Like I mentioned, we are adding content regularly. There'll be more stuff up there. So as you get in and get involved and go taking those series, there'll be more there for you to take. So if you have questions, first off, about the Grow discipleship process, you can talk to your deacon, or you can talk to the Grow director. You can stop by the Grow table if you're here in the building and get your questions answered about the Grow process itself. If you have questions about Antioch U, you can contact the Antioch U administrator for additional questions about the platform, maybe how the quizzes are working, or additional logistical questions. You can contact them. So what are your next steps? If you have an account, your next step is to go check out the Grow content. Go home, log in, check it out. If you haven't gone through it, start going through it. If you need an account, go sign up. Go home, go create an account. Don't forget that user type, and get yourself an account because you're going to want to be in there for the grow content. I will also mention, if you're in there, you will see other content available that is available to everyone at Antioch corporately. There's Bishop teaching series in there that you can take on your own and go through. There's a lot of great stuff outside of the grow content that you can kind of self-serve, and if you have time, go through that. There's a lot. I've gone through some myself. There's a lot of great stuff in there. But for Antioch Central, that is the primary use for Antioch U. That's what it is, and that's how you get to it and create an account. And thank you for your time today.
So did that help anyone understand a little bit more about the toolbox that we have here at Antioch Central? Did it help anyone? Does anyone have any questions? Okay, we do have some questions. So what we're going to do is, after we're done here this evening, since it's going to be fairly early, well, we're going to turn the mic to Pastor, and if he decides to, sneak a teach, sneak a preach, then he can do that. But you can find any of the individuals that spoke this evening, and we would be happy to help you with whatever your questions are, maybe answer those for you. But I did want to talk about real quick this paper that you all read as soon as you got it, because you were so excited to read what it was about. Again, it just has a brief summary on the front about the toolbox tools that we talked about. Again, social media, realm, website, the app, Antioch U. And then on the back, it again shows the information, the websites, or the realm administrator, the current realm administrator, the current Antioch U administrator. But then that's that little QR code you keep seeing throughout different sessions at Antioch Central and things of that nature. If you get your phone out and you scan, you take your camera, you set it, and scan that QR code, it'll pop up a little link. You click that link and it'll take you directly to whatever it is that you're trying to get to. If you want to get to our Instagram, you scan that, it'll take you there. If you want to get to our website, it'll take you there. The app, it'll take you to that in the App Store, so on and so forth. So we will be available after service to answer any questions if you have some, if you need something else clarified or cleared up. But we just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page, and we all, again, are speaking the same language, because, again, that is how we can do what we're called to do. Some of you might think a lot of this stuff isn't necessary. I doubt Paul had this. You're right, he didn't. Internet wasn't invented yet. But I am a lot of times convicted, at least in my own usage of specifically social media. If Paul was here, what would his social media? I don't necessarily see him not utilizing social media. I feel like he'd have said, this is a great tool. I'm using this, and I'm going to imagine how quickly Asia could have heard the word if he had the internet. So that's where we're at today, is it's like we know we live in a world that is over-connected and yet the most disconnected that it's ever been. Because everyone is like this. You go to a restaurant and everyone's sitting there instead of looking at the person they're eating dinner with. Or at the holidays, everyone's on their phone, or they get their new toy, which is some technology thing, and then they run off to a room by themselves and play with it by themselves. We know that this is a very disconnected time with the amount of connection that is available. And I believe that's the case because they being the world, have made something that's not the main thing, the main thing. They have made the tools the source, if you will. And they're going to these things for a substance that they're not supposed to provide. But we as the body, if we utilize these tools that we are given, that we have, the internet, our social media, being able to have apps and being able to store and share church services and things of that nature with the world, then there is so much more people that we could reach, and we aren't necessarily disconnected because we're so busy like this, because we know when we're present with the body, we're present with the body. But when I need to, I have a tool that I can use to help spread that gospel. So again, we have that first tool we learned about, which was social media. Use that, not only like was mentioned, to reach your friends and share with what's going on with the church amongst the church people, but also reach the people that we can't reach on your own. I don't have the same friends on my social media that Seth has on his social media, because we're not in the same family as far as this natural world goes. We don't have all of the same friends. I'm in different communities. So when I share something, I'm reaching my community. When he shares something, he's reaching his community. And the same thing with Realm. That's different in the sense of that is more about being connected together. Social media like Instagram, Facebook, That's more of your outflow connection, your connection to the world. In other words, getting the gospel to them there, like Nathaniel talked about with the video. But then realm is about us being connected with each other, with being informed with each other, and having communication with each other. And then our website, again, a great evangelistic tool to show people what our church is about, what our church believes, how they can find more information, who they can reach out to. And then our app, which has a ton of educational things as well. And then obviously Antioch U also. So I encourage you to get connected in these areas, to learn these tools, to be able to work your way through them, not be the master realm admin that Brother Barr is, or the website designer that Andrew is, or the social media guru that Nathaniel is, but being able to at least share that post or log into Realm or make your account on Realm so that way you can be present with the body on that platform. These are amazing tools, and if we use them, we can see amazing things done in the virtual world and in the natural world here at Antioch Central. So I hope you all have been educated, you have been informed, and you have been communicated with, and you have a better understanding of the tools that we have and that we utilize here at Antioch Central. And at this time, I'm going to turn it to your beloved pastor, who is very excited to come say hi to you all this evening.
I just want to quickly say, first off, what an amazing job by these brethren putting all this together, connecting some dots, giving us a better understanding. And since I didn't really have anything to do with much of this directly, I'm going to say this because it's not an arrogant statement, but I don't know about you, but I'm very impressed with this church. I would venture to say that I'm sure there are some places, but I would venture to say there's not many places that are doing a better job of using technology than the way Antioch Central is using technology, and that's compliments to a lot of different people that have had the foresight and the ability to help us create and do all this. And so I am very thankful, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and from the spiritual side to all of this stuff we're hearing about this evening, God has blessed this congregation with some absolutely amazing, awesome people. And I count it a great honor and privilege to have a role and being a part of this team. So I hope, I agree, Jalen said it at the very beginning, and I agree. There's if you were paying attention, there's no way there wasn't something tonight that you learned that you didn't really already know. I'm excited about the way this evening has put a bunch of different pieces together and helped to demonstrate the connections. So I'm going to not sneak a preach, and I'm going to put the mic down, but I want to reemphasize what he said. Please, if you got any comment or if you got any questions still, these guys are more than willing and definitely more than capable of answering your questions. And I'm gonna not to highlight one over the other, but I guess I'm gonna say it this way from my perspective. If there's one thing out of this whole deal tonight that you're not really familiar with, and you're going to pick one, you really owe it to yourself to have an understanding and stay involved on Realm, because there's all kinds of important information that gets communicated on there, and it is the hub of internal communication for Antioch Central. But again, any of these areas, these brethren are over here, and that way I always love at the end when we open up for questions, because there's those that have questions, and then there's always those that have stink eye, that anybody that asks a question because you're ready to go. So therefore, we will do it this way. And if you have a question, you can see one of these brethren. One more time, how many of you appreciate the time and effort? What a great job giving us clear, not only explanation, but showing us Thank you, brethren, for all the time and effort that you put into this. I appreciate it very much, and I believe we all appreciate it very much. Amen. God bless you. Don't forget, Brother Herring's going to be with us this Sunday, and God's going to continue doing some great things. Amen.